When you hear the word diamond, what comes to mind? Shine, luxury, something rare, right? Now imagine stumbling upon one of these treasures hidden in nature, not even knowing what you found. Did you know that every day, people leave diamonds behind simply because they don't know how to recognize them? Yup, that's right. When you hear the phrase, "You could be one of the people who finds natural diamonds," the mind of the person watching starts to imagine possibilities. And the most surprising part is that if you're paying attention, you could be the next one to make an incredible discovery without even leaving your routine. The idea of finding a diamond is closer to you than you think. Have you ever stopped to think about how many valuable opportunities we miss in our daily lives? Well, when it comes to diamonds, this happens all the time. Most people don't recognize a raw diamond, or they don't even consider that they might be walking right over one. It's not an exaggeration, and it's definitely not some distant dream. What we're talking about here is the real deal. And more than that, by the end of this video, you'll have the key to identify these precious stones easily, with a skill that could literally change your financial future. After all, who wouldn't want to find something worth millions, right? This isn't just some vague conversation about luck, no. This is a real, tangible strategy. And with the promise that comes right after this introduction, the viewer knows one thing. This content isn't just interesting, it's a game changer. Anyone who watches until the end, prepares themselves, and applies what they learn could be much closer to finding a diamond than they realize. So if you thought only big mining companies found these treasures, get ready to change your mind. Because at any moment, you could come across something huge, and recognizing it is the first step. So are you ready to discover the signs that will lead you to your very own diamond? Let me know in the comments below. Now take a moment and ask yourself, have you ever seen a raw diamond up close? If the answer is no, you're not alone. Most people have never had the chance to see a diamond in its purest form. They look so different from the polished, shiny diamonds we're used to seeing in jewelry stores or display cases. And here's the secret. Raw diamonds have a simple, even somewhat dull appearance at first glance. But inside, they hold an invaluable worth just waiting to be discovered. And that's exactly why so many people pass by them without realizing the treasure they have in their hands. Did you know that in some cases, those seemingly insignificant rocks can be worth millions? When it comes to raw diamonds, the most common mistake is that people confuse them with ordinary river rocks or minerals that hold no value. The big difference between a raw diamond and other types of rocks lies inside, not in their initial appearance. The reality is that to recognize a raw diamond, you need to be prepared, know what to look for, and above all, understand the difference between what's ordinary and what could change your life. And that's why we're here, to make sure you know how to spot these precious stones when you come across them. By learning these details, you'll have the power to distinguish between a simple pebble and what could be your big discovery. As you've noticed, this video isn't just about admiring the beauty of gemstones. It's about learning to recognize them. The goal here is clear. With the right knowledge, you can look at something that seems ordinary and understand the value it holds. Imagine the difference between looking at a rock and knowing it could be a diamond. That's the kind of skill we're going to teach you here. So, get ready, because by understanding the raw diamond concept and how to identify them, you'll be one step closer to realizing that your next walk in nature could be the beginning of something much bigger. So go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because what's coming next could change your life. Have you ever imagined finding a diamond while just playing around, not knowing the wealth you had in your hands? Well, this actually happened. An incredible story emerged when a little girl, playing near the ruins of an abandoned mine, found a huge rock. She took it to her uncle, not knowing what it was, and he, having no clue what he had, sold the rock for an unbelievably low price. Just imagine the shock when they discovered that the rock wasn't just any rock, but a massive yellow diamond worth millions of dollars. It's unbelievable, right? But believe it or not, stories like this happen more often than you think. The little girl, who was once carefree and just playing, could now afford a quality education. The uncle, who didn't know what he was doing, was able to secure a comfortable retirement after selling the diamond for a ridiculously low amount. And do you know what's even more impressive? This wasn't the only time something like this happened. There are many stories of ordinary people who, by sheer accident, came across stones that changed their lives forever. This teaches us an important lesson. Paying attention to the details can transform your destiny, just like it changed the little girl's life. But to have that kind of luck, you first need to recognize what's in front of you. This story isn't just an interesting tidbit, but a warning to everyone who walks past seemingly ordinary stones without knowing what they really are. What it shows is that with the right knowledge, you can be much more prepared to find opportunities that others would miss. That little girl and her uncle were lucky, but what can you do to not rely on luck alone? The answer is learning how to identify those precious stones. And believe me, the chance of finding something extraordinary isn't as far off as you think. Don't let the next opportunity slip by. When it comes to diamonds, shape is much more than just an aesthetic choice. It's directly linked to how the diamond formed deep within the earth. Diamonds don't come in perfect shapes by accident. Every shape is the result of extreme pressures and temperatures that turn carbon into diamond. So when you come across a stone you think might be a diamond, one of the first things to observe is its shape. That's what helps define what you're dealing with. And trust me, the shape could be the key to uncovering the hidden value of that stone. For example, if you find a raw diamond that has a pyramid or cube shape, that's already a strong indication that you could be holding something very valuable. Each diamond shape, like the octahedron or cube, directly reflects how the pressure and temperature shaped that crystal. It might sound technical, but it's crucial to understanding how a diamond behaves and, more importantly, how it can be cut to become a precious gem. And of course, the cut directly impacts the value of the diamond. So knowing how to recognize the right shape is like having a magnifying glass that reveals the true wealth of the stone. Now imagine finding a diamond with a shape you've never seen before. What should you do? Don't panic. The rare shape of a diamond could also be what makes it unique and even more valuable. If you learn to recognize the differences between common and rare shapes, you'll be better prepared to assess any stone that comes your way. Understanding these shapes is undoubtedly an essential step in the journey to identifying diamonds. And remember, with the right knowledge, you'll be able to look at any stone and see the potential that many would overlook. So tell me, have you ever found a stone and wondered if it was really a diamond or some other valuable rock? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. Diamonds begin their journey at an impressive depth, deep within the Earth's core. They don't just appear out of nowhere. They form from carbon that crystallizes under extreme pressure and temperature conditions. The formation of a diamond is a true spectacle of nature. Pressures that are thousands of times stronger than atmospheric pressure, and temperatures that can reach over 1,000 degrees Celsius. It's in this environment of nearly incomprehensible force that the carbon atoms organize into a perfect cubic structure, creating the diamond crystal. Just imagine Every diamond you see has gone through such an intense process that we can hardly even fathom it. What many don't know is that, despite this impressive formation, diamonds don't stay buried at unreachable depths forever. They're brought to the surface by volcanic eruptions, which, with the force of their explosions, carry precious stones, including diamonds, up with the lava and spread them across the land. This is such a unique process that it's considered a true geological miracle. That means, when you find a diamond, it's like you're face to face with a piece of natural history, a fragment of something that was created millions of years ago. And in some cases, this piece of history is right there, under your feet. And here's where the real value of knowledge comes in. If you understand the conditions that allow diamonds to form, you'll know where to look. Some areas of the world are more likely to have diamonds because of their geological characteristics. For example, regions that have experienced volcanic eruptions or areas rich in alluvial deposits are more likely to hold these treasures. Understanding this process and the right places to search, you'll be one step ahead in your journey of discovery. And to make your search even easier, we've created an ebook with everything you need to know about precious stones, and we've pinned the link in the comments. Take a look, because it could be the guide you need to start hunting for diamonds like a true expert. When we talk about diamonds, one of the first characteristics that comes to mind is their unmatched hardness. And that's no accident. The crystal structure of diamonds is cubic, meaning their carbon atoms are arranged in an extremely strong and organized way. This makes diamonds the hardest known minerals on Earth, capable of cutting through practically any material. Now imagine the incredible strength that hides within a simple piece of rock. If you look closely, this structure is what sets a diamond apart from all other minerals. And it's precisely this organization that makes diamonds so unique, with the ability to resist the wear and tear of time and keep their shine for generations. Interestingly, graphite, the material used in pencils, is made from the same basic element, carbon. But what makes it so different from diamond? The answer lies in the structure. While diamond has a solid cubic structure, graphite has a flat structure, where the layers of carbon atoms are much weaker, allowing them to easily slide over each other. This makes graphite soft and easy to break, while diamond, with its rigid structure, is virtually unbeatable. So, when you think of diamonds, remember this. A diamond's strength isn't just in its material, but in the way its atoms are arranged. And that's something many other minerals like graphite simply can't replicate. Now that you understand the diamond structure, it's clear why it's so easy to identify, even in its raw state. This can be a big help when you're searching for diamonds in nature. If you find a rock that seems interesting but you're not sure, remember to check how the atoms are organized. The cubic structure of a diamond is one of the biggest indicators of its authenticity. And the best part is that as you learn more about this structure, it will become easier to spot a diamond, even in a state where many other stones would go unnoticed. This brings us to another important point: how the characteristics of a diamond influence its identification, and what else you should look for when exploring the world of precious stones. Raw diamonds can come in an impressive variety of shapes, and this is crucial for anyone trying to identify one. The most common shape you might come across is the octahedron, which resembles two pyramids joined at their bases. This shape is so distinctive that it's often linked to the classic image of a diamond. In its raw form, the octahedron isn't polished or shiny, but its angular shape and flat faces make it easy to spot. If you're out walking and find a stone with this shape, the first thing you should do is examine it carefully, because this shape could be a sign that you've found something far more valuable than you think. Now, it's important to note that while the octahedron is the most common shape, not all raw diamonds follow this pattern. Some diamonds might have shapes that resemble other minerals like fluorite, which can cause confusion. That's why it's essential to pay attention to the details. While fluorite might have a shape similar to the octahedral diamond, it's much more opaque and soft. If you're unsure about the stone you found, performing a few simple tests can help confirm whether you've really found a diamond. These tests include checking the shine, hardness, and the ability to scratch other surfaces. This is one of the most effective ways to confirm the authenticity of a stone. With knowledge of the octahedron shape and how to differentiate it from similar minerals, you'll be better prepared to spot raw diamonds. As you continue to learn, every new shape you come across will be an opportunity to expand your knowledge. Plus, over time, your eye will become sharper, and you'll be able to identify other, less common, but equally valuable shapes with ease. So remember, the first step in recognizing a diamond is learning to identify the most common shapes. This opens doors to a world of discoveries and, who knows, a hidden fortune in plain sight. While the octahedron is the most common shape found in raw diamonds, it's not the only one that exists in nature. Another interesting shape you might come across is the round diamond. Although rare, these diamonds form in a unique way, typically due to natural wear over time. They don't have flat faces like typical diamonds, but instead, they are covered with small imperfections that give them a distinct shine. If you find a stone with this shape, don't be fooled. It could be a diamond, and its irregular shape is one of the things that makes it even more special. However, don't confuse these round diamonds with river rocks or other stones smoothed by water, as the durability and shine of a diamond are incomparable. In addition to round diamonds, another interesting shape is the dodecahedron, which resembles a more complex version of the octahedron. It's popular among jewelers because it allows several diamonds to be cut from a single crystal. This shape is highly valued for its ability to maximize the value of a diamond. Imagine, if you come across a dodecahedron, you could be facing a stone that not only is rare but also has huge potential for increased value, depending on how it's cut. So, if you encounter a stone with multiple faces and a slightly rounded shape, remember, it could be a dodecahedron, not just an ordinary mineral. Lastly, cubic diamonds, though rare, also have a place in the world of raw diamonds. Their solid, almost opaque shape may initially go unnoticed, but they are valuable in their own way. Unlike typical diamonds, which are cut to maximize their shine, cubic diamonds aren't ideal for cutting, but they still hold great value, especially in their raw form. If you find one of these, don't discard it right away. Despite their more common shape, they can be considered unique due to their appearance and the difficulty of cutting them. The more you understand about diamond shapes, the better prepared you'll be to identify the real gem that could be within your reach. Did you already know all this? Let me know in the comments what surprised you the most so far. Triangular diamonds, or mackles, are incredibly rare and therefore very special. Unlike the more common shapes like the octahedron, the triangular diamond has a flat, translucent shape with a very unique form. This type of diamond doesn't form easily. It undergoes a unique growth process that happens deep within the earth. The formation of a mackle is a true geological phenomenon, where extreme pressure and constant temperature shape the stone into a triangular structure. If you find a diamond with this shape, consider yourself extremely lucky because the mackle is one of the rarest and most valuable types of diamonds. However, although triangular diamonds are highly valuable, the process of cutting them can be much more challenging than cutting other shapes. The geometry of this stone requires that the cuts be made very precisely to highlight its unique shine. The challenge lies in the perfection of the cut, because even the slightest flaw can compromise the reflection and shine, which are the signature traits of a diamond. In many cases, only specialized jewelers have the skill and proper equipment to work with these types of diamonds. So, if you come across a triangular diamond, you can be sure you're dealing with one of the most difficult to handle examples. Despite the challenge of cutting, the triangular diamond is extremely valued precisely because of its rarity and unique beauty. If you're lucky enough to find one, know that you're holding something far beyond just a simple crystal. The value of a mackle isn't just in its formation, but also in the meticulous process needed to cut it. And with this type of knowledge, you'll be one step closer to understanding the complexity and true value of raw diamonds. Now that you know about the triangular diamond, think of the opportunities this knowledge could open for you. This is just one example of how, with patience and wisdom, you can see beauty and value where others might only see a simple stone. Before we continue, if you haven't liked the video yet, go ahead and do it now, because that way, YouTube will always recommend great content like this to you. Not all diamonds follow the expected or traditional shape. Some of them can be completely irregular in their form. This happens due to natural wear and impact, such as when a stone is rolled by rivers or when it undergoes geological forces over time. These stones don't follow the pattern of diamonds cut or raw in the shape of pyramids or cubes. Instead, they have softer shapes that may look worn down or even polished by nature. It's interesting to note that despite their irregular appearance, these diamonds can be just as valuable as any other, and in some cases, even rarer. The natural process that leads to these irregular shapes is fascinating. Over the years, friction with other stones and the movement of water and rivers can polish the edges and surfaces of diamonds, creating nearly spherical shapes. This natural polishing can make a diamond look softer and less angular, but at the same time, it preserves its durability and unmistakable shine. The most impressive part is that when you come across a diamond with these characteristics, it can be a real surprise. While it may not look like a typical diamond, it still holds the same value and rarity. These irregular diamonds are often found in alluvial areas where gravel and stones have accumulated over thousands of years. These areas are often located near ancient rivers or even in dry riverbeds. If you find a stone with a more rounded or polished shape and suspect it might be a diamond, it's worth taking a closer look. Even if the shape isn't perfectly angular, the chance it's a diamond is still high. And ultimately, knowing about these irregular shapes and how to identify them can be a huge asset in your diamond hunting journey. Now that you have the knowledge needed to identify raw diamonds, it's time to start putting everything into practice. It's not enough to just understand the shapes or the geological processes. You need to observe carefully. Every stone you find along the way could be more than just an ordinary mineral. It could be a real fortune. Remember, the secret lies in the details. Whether it's the shape, the structure, or even the irregular forms, everything has its value and its story. Each new discovery is an opportunity, and the more familiar you become with these characteristics, the easier it will be to find what others overlook. To continue your learning and make sure you're fully prepared, don't forget to check out the additional resources we've prepared for you. Take a look at our complete ebook on precious stones, available in the first pinned comment of this video. It will help you deepen your knowledge and become a true gemology expert. Also, be sure to watch the video that's showing up right now on your screen. How to find diamonds, indicator minerals you need to know. I'm sure it will offer more valuable tips for your journey. Finally, If you're ready to apply what you've learned, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll always be updated on new videos that will expand your knowledge on precious stones. And of course, make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss any opportunity to learn. After all, the journey to discovering diamonds is just beginning. Good luck on your journey as a gemstone hunter.